Hey guys, we're back with Mr. C. We got math lesson 007. This is real world problems when you have something like this and we're going to multiply something like this. So in the real world, let's say there's apartment A and it has a living room that's 4.5 yards by 5 1/3 yard. And we have apartment B that has the same type of room but smaller. It's a living room 3 2/3 yard by 4 1/4 yard. And the question might be, in the real world, how much larger or bigger in square yards is the living room in apartment A than apartment B? So you have to first figure out what the area of A would be. You have to then figure out the area of what B would be. Then you have to find the difference. Because when you find something that's bigger than something else, you have to find the difference. So, if you want to pause the tape right now and go ahead and do this math, you have to find the area of this, and then find the area of this, and then find the difference. And if you want to just go ahead and let the lesson run, I'm going to go ahead and start this. Then you have the chance to do your own practice later on. So, let me get a pen out here. So let's say apartment A, I have to find the area. So just like our previous lessons, we're going to go, kind of like doing pink there. We're going to turn this and that for A. We'll do the same thing for B. And we'll end up with the improper fractions like before. So, 2 times 4 would be 8. 8 plus 1 more would be 9. And that's going to be 9 halves. Then we're going to have 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 more is 16. That's going to be 16 thirds. Now I don't know what 9 times 16 is, so I'm going to go 16 times 9. And I get 9 times 6 is 54. And I get 9 times 1 is 9 plus 5 is 14. So that is 144 there. And 2 times 3 is 6. And of course we're going to have then, this is going to be a division problem. So we're going to have 6 dividing into 144. And that would be 6 into 1, nope. 6 into 14 is going to be 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. 14 take away 12 is 2. Drop down the 4. And then we have 6 into 24 would be 4. 4 times 6 is 24. And no remainder. So the area for living room apartment A is 24 yards cubed, or squared, sorry, squared. 24 yards squared. And let's do the same thing for apartment B. We have 3 times 3. That's going to be 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 thirds. We're going to multiply. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. So 17 fourths over here. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply 11 times 17, which again I don't know. So let's do 17 times 11. 7 times 1 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. And now we have the tens place. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. So it's going to be 7, 8, and 1. And we add those up. So 187, that's our answer, of 11 groups of 17 would be 187. So that is 187 over let's see, 3 times 4 is 12. And that means we're going to divide. This always means division. It means take this number and divide it by that number. So we would go 12 divided by 187 divided by 12. The 12 will not go into the 1, but it will go into the 18. It'll go there one time. 1 times 12 is 12. 18 take away 2 is 6. This becomes 67. And then the question is, how many times will this 12 fit into 67? I look at my times table chart. I realize it's going to be 5, because 5 times 12 is 60. And then 67 take away 60 would be 7. So this at the end is going to be, so there's no room there, it'd be 15, and the 7, it's going to be 7 left over, and these are going to be 12s. We're dividing by 12. 12s. So the area here is 15 and 7/12 yard squared. So now we have two answers. We have 24 yards squared, and we have 15 and 7/12 yards squared. And the question now is, how much more is this than this? How much more is this here than that? So to figure out the difference between two different numbers, you have to subtract the smaller number from the bigger number. So let me get a new piece of paper. I'm going to try to answer that question there. How much bigger than that? So I have my A, which is 24 yards squared, and my B, which was 15 and 7/12 yards squared. To find out the difference of these two numbers. So that's going to be 24 in the whole number land. You'll remember we have kind of, when we have decimals, same thing. We have a whole number land, and then we have parts of numbers. So I have 24 whole numbers and no pieces. But we have 15 whole numbers over here, 15 whole numbers there, and then we do have some pieces here. We have 7 out of 12. We have 7 out of 12. Okay. So now just transfer these numbers here into a subtraction problem. But then you can see we have a problem. We're going to try to start with something here and take away that. We can't do it. We're going to have to borrow. We have to regroup. We can't just start with no fraction here and take away 7/12. It's not possible. But we can, excuse me, we can regroup or borrow. So I'm going to go ahead and regroup. I just need one group of these 24. This will become 23 now. Well, this one group I'm going to need over here, I'm going to move it over, that little imaginary line. And now I'm going to have a certain number of 12s, because I need 12s. Let me make sure they speak the same language, same denominators. So 12. Well, the question is, how many 12s would I have in one group? I just took away one group. Now I have one less. I'm going to have 12, because that still means 1. So 23 and 12/12 is the same thing as 24. I haven't changed the amount, I've just changed how they're separated. Now I have some whole numbers here and some fractions here. So now I can do a takeaway. 12 things take away 7 is 5 things. And the things are 12ths. So 12/12 take away 7/12 is 5/12. Now I can do the whole numbers over here. 3 take away 5. I can't do that. Regroup. Now I have 13 take away 5, and that is 8. And then 1 take away 1 is nothing. So at the end, the difference between this many yards and this many yards is 8 and 5/12 yards squared. So our answer, when we were trying to answer this here, how much bigger in yards is the living room in apartment A than apartment B? The answer was 8 and 5/12 yards bigger. A is 8 and 5/12 yards bigger than B is our answer. Okay, so that's our practice. If you want to go back and review this lesson, you may. Let me review really quickly with you. You see I had to first figure out the area of A. I found it by multiplying and dividing at the end. Did the same thing for B. I switched these mixed numbers, improper fractions, multiplied sideways, multiplied, and to find the answer here, I divided. And I got this number here. At the end, I took this number, the bigger number. I took away this number from the bigger number. And this time I had to borrow or regroup, as you saw. And I got the answer of 8 and 5/12. Okay, let's review the lesson. And now I have a problem for you to do. All right, so we'll take a look at the problem, and then I'll give you some time to work on it. So now we have apartment C. These are bedrooms. We're going to compare two different bedrooms. Apartment C has a bedroom that measures 2 3/4 yards by 3.5 yards. And apartment D has a bedroom that measures 2.5 yards by 3.25 yards. And of course the question is going to be, how much bigger in yards is apartment C's bedroom than apartment D's bedroom? So this is your problem to do. I'll stop the tape and you'll have some time to work on it. We'll come back and reveal the answers and see how you did. So again, how much bigger is C than D? And there's your data. Good luck. We'll be back in a minute. All right, so we're back to answer this question. How much bigger in yards is C than D? And we'll do the first problem C first, and then we'll do D, and then we'll do a takeaway problem. So, again, we're going to do this little trick on both of these. And I'll do C first. 4 times 2, that was 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 fourths times 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 more is 7. 7 halves. And now 11 times 7 is 77. 4 times 2 is 8. We're going to divide 8 into 77. We're going to get 9, because 9 times 8 is 72. And then 7 take away 2 is 5. So I'll have a remainder of 5/8. So my answer, the area of bedroom C was 9 and 5/8 yards squared. Is our answer. We'll use that number later on when we do our subtraction problem. And apartment D, we'll do it the same way. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 more is 5 halves. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 more is 13 fourths. 5 times 13. 13 times 5. 3 times 5 is 15, carry the 1. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 more is 65. So we're going to go with 65 5. 4 times 2 is 8. And of course, we're going to do what? Division, correct. It's going to be division. So, we're to do 65 divided by 8. I use my times tables. I go, oh, it will not work there, but it will work there. It's going to be 8 times, because 8 times 8 is 64. And of course, 65 take away 64 to me 1. So, D is going to be 8, and then 1/8, and 1/8 yards squared. Now you may say we're finished because we have 2 answers, but we did not answer what they asked us. They didn't ask us what are the 2 areas. They want to know what's the difference. What's the difference of? How much bigger is this one than that one? You can see this one's bigger, but they want to know how much bigger. So we're going to have to do a final step, which is a subtraction problem. So like before, I'm going to take my first number and put it into the whole number area, 9 and 5/8. We have whole numbers here, we have fractions there. Take our other number, which was 8 and 1/8. Put 8 in the whole numbers. 1/8 over here in fraction land, do a takeaway problem. And then we'll be able to answer a question which is bigger. So, for this one, I do have a fraction to take care of, and it will work out because this number is bigger than this number. So 5 take away 1 is no problem. I do not have to borrow. We're good. 5 take away 1 is 4. And then there are 8s. 5/8 take away 1/8 would be 4/8. Then 9 take away 8 is going to be 1. And so our answer is 1 and 4/8. And if this bothers you because it's not simplified, you can also answer 1 and 1/2, which is they're equivalent to each other. So the answer for today's problem for your practice was either 1 and 4/8 yard squared or 1 and 1/2 yard squared. And again, if you had any trouble with this lesson, please go back and review it. If you want extra practice, there'll be extra practice linked on the daily lesson. And you have been working on real-world problems using mixed number fractions with Mr. C. Thank you for learning with Mr. C.